bow before thee, King of glory, holy are you, Lord, none beside thee, perfect in power, my God, forever. You were and are, and you will be. I bow before thee, King of glory, holy are you, Lord, none beside thee, perfect in power, my God, forever. You were and are, and you
Morning, South Potomac. Come on, let's stand together. We're here to celebrate Jesus. And the day we honor mothers, happy Mother's Day. Let's sing to God.
Casting my cares aside,
me is good. Is good. Today is the day you have made. I will rejoice to be glad in it. Today is the day you have made. I will rejoice to be glad in it. I won't worry about tomorrow. Trusting in what you say. Today is the day. Today is the I will stand on your truth.
I will stand upon your truth.
All my days I'll live for you.
All my days I live for you.
And I will stand upon your truth.
I will stand upon your truth.
All my days I'll live for you.
All my days I live.
Today is the day you have made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Today is the day you have made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. And I won't worry about tomorrow. Giving you my fears and sorrow. Where you lead me, I will follow. I'm trusting in what you say. Today is the day. 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 Oh, oh, oh. Today is the day. Good God Almighty, I hope you'll find me praising your name no matter what comes. I can't count the times I called your name some broken night. You showed up, patched me up like you do every time. I get amnesia. I think that you keep coming around. There ain't no way you ever let me down. Good God Almighty, I hope you'll find me praising your name no matter what comes. 'Cause nowhere I'd be without your mercy. So I keep praising your name at the time of my love. You tell me is he good?
He's good.
Tell me is he God?
He's God.
He is good God Almighty. You say your love goes on forever, that your mercy never stops. Why would I assume you'd be somebody that you're not? Like the sun in the morning, I know you're gonna be there every day. But on earth you made me be afraid. Good God Almighty, I hope you'll find me praising your name no matter what comes. 'Cause I know where sun goes down.
Sing it together. Come thou fount of every blessing, to my heart to sing thy praise. Streams of mercy never ceasing, awful songs of loudest praise. Teach me some melodious sonnet sung by flaming tongues above. Praise the mount I'm fixed upon it, mount of thy redeeming love. I was lost in utter darkness till you came and rescued me. I was bound by all my sin, and your love came and set me free. Now my soul can sing a new song. Now my heart has found a home. Now your grace is always with me, and I'll never be alone. Sing. Come thou fount, come thou King, come thou precious Prince of Peace. In your right to you we sing. Come thou fount of our blessing. Come thou fount, come thou King, come thou precious Prince of Peace. In your right to you we sing. Come thou fount of our blessing. Oh, to grace how great a debtor daily I'm constrained to be. Let thy goodness like a fetter bind my wandering heart to thee. Prone to wander, Lord, I feel it. Prone to leave the God I love. Here's my heart, Lord, take and seal it, till it more than portable. Seal it for you, Lord. Let's say it together. Come thou fount, come thou King, come thou precious Prince of Peace. In your right to you we sing. Come thou fount of our blessing. Say it again. Come thou fount, come thou King, come thou precious Prince of Peace. In your right to you we sing. Come thou fount of our blessing. I was lost in utter darkness till you came and rescued me. I was bound by all my sin when your love came and set
song. Now my heart has found a home, and your grace is always with me, and I'll never be alone.
Isn't that sweet? Isn't that so sweet, Pastor Dave? I just heard the voices of the saints singing that.
It is gorgeous.
It sounded so sweet.
It is great.
I want to hear it one more time.
All right, here we go.
Put that up again for me, Maria. Put that last verse up. Before that, say it together.
I was lost in utter darkness till you came and rescued me. I was bound by all my sin when your love came and set me free. Now my soul can sing a new song. Now my heart has found a home. There will grace is always with me, and I'll never be alone.
Thank you, Jesus.
And as we go to prayer, just know that's the story of faith right there. You are homeless until you come home to Christ. And he creates anew, he moves in, becomes Savior, becomes friend, and you are never alone. It's one of the gosh awful things about hell is that not only are you separated from God, but you're all alone. So God, our Father in heaven, you are the fountain of life, and we thank you for communicating that to us in Christ, and for blessing us with all spiritual blessings in all high places, and then taking us in as family. And you pull up a chair at your table, didn't have to do that. And then you allow us to feast at the table of your word in the presence of your Spirit, who teaches us in such a way we would never get it apart from his divine intervention. And so then we're never alone. And Father, that gives us a kind of a confidence when we go through life, because there are days that we're whistling along pretty well, but there are a lot of days when we're not. And we run back to the word where we read, "Never will I leave you, never will I forsake you." We have a friend who sticks closer than a brother. And so we are blessed. Thank you. Now may we live to be a blessing. May this service together, as we worship you, as we hear your word, as we continue to sing, we take the elements of the Lord's table, as we give to you, whatever it would be, Lord, may it bring a smile to your face. May it be worship that is truly worthy, because you are. And we pray this in the name of Christ, our risen Savior and our coming King. We pray these things in his name. Everyone in agreement would say, amen?
Amen.
Amen. Join me in thanking the team, would you? Thank you, guys. Stay right there. We're not going to go far. I want you to turn and I want you to greet two people, and I want you to give them the first memory that you have of your mom. What? Remember the first memory you had? You're my mom? You're my mom. Well, good morning, everybody, once again. Some of you are swapping phone numbers and email addresses, making great friendships with people up and down the road. That's good. Happy Mother's Day to you, and we wish you well on the day. Today's a special day, too. We want to introduce a new family to SPC. Tashia's going to talk.
Good morning, everybody. It is baby child dedication day. It's one of my favorites. And of course, happy Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Happy Mother's Day to you, too.
You did good. Thank you. All right, so we have Liz and her babies, Briar and Isaac, and her mom and dad, Jill and Mike. And they are coming to dedicate the babies to the Lord.
Very good.
Yeah, so exciting.
So, Liz, tell me a little bit about, okay, Briar, would you like to tell us how old you are? How old are you, sweetheart?
3.
Very good. Oh, did you hear yourself? That was pretty fun, wasn't it? So, Liz, tell me a little bit about their personalities.
Well, Miss Briar's very empathetic and creative, and she likes to be a variety of different types of cats. So she will be, just like that. I'm sure we have an actress on our hands. So, and then Mr. Isaac is he's so smart, and I'm certain he's going to be an engineer of some type because he gets into everything. He's also really empathetic, so I hope to foster that in him.
That's great. Yeah, and each of these kids are born, all of the children, you guys, anybody who's been around children, you know how they are born, and you start seeing their personality so early, and it's just a gift to be able to do this. So Jill, did you want to share something with us? And this is cool having the grandparents, because to have a whole family and that support is amazing. So here.
Hi.
So I just wanted to
That's all right.
say that my daughter Liz, grew up in the church, and she wandered her own way for quite a while, and she was lost, and now she's found. The Lord brought her back, and so I want to encourage you parents who are praying for your grown kids. God is in it, and He will bring them back.
Thank you. Oh,
Very good. When we were preparing for this, Psalm 103 is, bless the Lord, O my soul, all that is within me, bless His holy name. And newer version says, praise the Lord, O my soul, but basically the same idea. But later in the passage of Psalm 103, these are actually songs, by the way, verse 17 reads like this: but from everlasting to everlasting, the Lord's love is with those who fear Him. The Lord's love is with those who fear Him, and His righteousness with His children's children. We read right past that. But what's happening is this: we have a praying grandma and grandpa who don't give up. Get this? Because it's going to affect not just the next generation, but the one after that. And so what you may do, you may be rocking the cradle, but you know the phrase, you are the next to rule the world when you rock the cradle. So do it with prayer, and bless the Lord, O my soul, and may my family, may your family, may all that's within us bless His holy name. Amen, church? Amen. So let's be sure to pray for them, okay? I'm going to pray for them now, but you pray for them as well. Pray for Mike that he wins this wrestling match. One at a time, that's all you need. We'll take a decision. You don't need a pin or major win, just a minor win is plenty. On this day, Lord, we enjoy so much of what you've given to us in life. And now I thank you for the faith and trust that now we pass. And this is decisions that people have to make on their own, that I'm going to follow the Lord. And so we are so grateful we're at this point. So for Mike and Jill, this is an answer to prayer. And now for grandchildren, what a blessing on top of that. But this represents so much within our church family as well. And so we stand to support generation to generation, because we know that the building block of any society, of any church, of any nation are really good, strong families, biblical families. And that's what we pray for, Lord. I think of young Timothy, who is a preacher, and Paul writes to him and says, it was the faith of not only your mother, but your grandmother. And so together, Lord, may we be the people, a household of faith, really as a church, that does our very best with these kiddos. Bless them, keep them. And Lord, as they come of age, may they come to Christ early, and may they follow the Lord well. And we pray this to the glory of our Savior, Jesus. And all God's people would say, amen? Amen. God bless you. And you. God bless you. God bless you. Yeah.
Ruth's 5th through, or 6th, I'm sorry, I'm grabbing them early. 6th grade through 12th grade, head on out, and I will see you there.
Jesus over every heart and every mind, 'cause I know there is peace within your presence. I speak Jesus. I just want to speak the name of Jesus till every dark addiction starts to break, declaring there is hope and there is freedom. I speak Jesus, 'cause your name is power, your name is healing, your name is life. Break every stronghold, shine through the shadows, burn like a fire. I just want to speak the name of Jesus over fear and all anxiety, to every soul captive by depression. I speak Jesus, 'cause your name is power, your name is healing, your name is life. Break every stronghold, shine through the shadows, burn like a fire. Shout Jesus from the mountains, Jesus in the streets, Jesus in the darkness over every enemy, Jesus for my family. I speak the holy name, Jesus. Shout Jesus from the mountains, Jesus in the streets, Jesus in the darkness over every enemy, Jesus for my family. I speak the holy name, Jesus. I just want to speak the name of Jesus over every heart and every mind. 'Cause I know there is peace within your presence. I speak Jesus.
You may be seated. Good morning. My name is Wayne, and I'll be leading our communion meditation this morning. I want to start by asking a few thought-provoking questions. Do you ever tire of trying to be the bigger person, being the one to turn the other cheek, being the one striving to be positive and upbeat? Aren't there times when you want to turn at being spoken to first? Getting a turn at being the receiver instead of the deliverer of a kind word? Imagine what this must have been like for Jesus. Imagine the patience he must have had to muster, to teach and mentor his raw disciples. Imagine the unending demands on him, the ridicule and shame he endured while trying to do his and doing his Father's will. We, like Jesus, are called to a higher standard. We are called to be light and salt in an often dark and tasteless world. But we are human. As the Apostle Paul said, "I'm not perfect, no, far from it, but I press on to receive the prize for which God called me through Christ to the life above." As we take a little time now to go to God in personal prayer, let's ask him to forgive us of those times in which we fell short of being the people we are called to be. And let's also be sure to ask him to give us the strength and the stamina to serve like Jesus when we too grow tired and weary. Let's go to personal prayer now. Galatians 6, verse 9 says, "Let us not grow weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we do not lose heart." May we draw strength and encouragement from these words of Scripture. Stay strong in the faith, protect our witness, go forth doing his work and being his people, light and salt in a fallen world. On the night in which Jesus was betrayed, he was in the upper room with his disciples, and there was some bread before him, and he took the bread and he broke it, and after giving thanks, he said, "This is my body broken for you. Take, eat in remembrance of me." Likewise, there was a cup, and he took the cup, he raised it, And after giving thanks, he said, "This is my blood poured out for you and for many for the forgiveness of sins. Take, drink in remembrance of me." Scripture tells us that it is more blessed to give than receive. We want to thank you for your faithful giving to the church, support of our ministry. And also, I want to let you know that I'll be in the prayer corner for anyone that would like personal prayer after the service. God bless you. Have a great day.
Before you walk off, Ernest, your mother and grandmother, as I was praying that prayer, that was your faith story, wasn't it?
Amen.
You had a grandmother who, right?
A mother.
And a mother, yeah. A grandmother and a mother who really prayed over you, right?
Absolutely. Always.
And so, and he turned out okay. I mean, it's a son I would
questionable.
Take. Okay. God bless you, brother. Yeah. Isn't it crazy the stories and where people come from and what the backstory on their life? Jesus Revolution, new movie out with Greg Laurie. This kid, if you know who Greg Laurie is, he helped make a movie, but his mother was married 7 times. She was Marilyn Monroe, not Marilyn actually, but she dressed like Marilyn Monroe. And if anyone could get a pass, it would be Greg Laurie. And he pastors a church and has written several great books and helped us get a good movie. All right, I'll let you go. Happy Mother's Day, Tam. Yeah, thank you for your work. I'm thankful for all the pastoral staff, all those who lead. This is a touching day. It's a wonderful, I'm glad you're in church today. I'm going to tell you a story about the one, I'm going to tell you now because my wife's out with the teens, so I can tell you it's safe. You won't tell, right? Okay, good. I'll tell you a Sunday, because it's good for you to be in church on Mother's Day. I'll tell you one that she missed. Not one to tattle, but I'm telling you. I want to read over just, it's a time to celebrate moms and thank the Lord for moms, but for moms, sometimes it's not all that happy because you wonder, did I do the right thing? Or could I have done things differently? Or what would I do? And then you wonder about your impact and you just don't know at the time. So just hear the word of the Lord, unedited, from Proverbs. A wife of noble character who can find? She is worthy of far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. She selects wool and flax and works with eager hands. She is like the merchant ships bringing her food from afar. She gets up while it's still night. She provides food for her family and portions for her female servants. She considers a field and buys it. Out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her tasks, and she sees that her trading is profitable. Her lamp does not go out at night. In her hand, she holds a distaff and grasps the spindle with her fingers. She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. And when it snows, she has no fear of her household, for they're all clothed in scarlet. Scarlet would be a heavy, not just red in color, but a heavy wool garment. She makes coverings for her bed. She is clothed in fine linen and purple. Her husband is respected in the city gate, where he takes his seat among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies the merchants with sashes. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children arise and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. He concludes. Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Get that? Honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate. Would you bow with me in prayer? And Almighty God, on this day where we celebrate women, particularly moms, grandmothers, but women all over in our church ministry, but then beyond the walls of this church too, to sisters in the Lord all around the world, Lord. We thank you for their faith and trust in you through Jesus Christ. We thank you for their love for people, their commitment to virtue. And to all those who gave birth this first year, Lord, we celebrate with them. And to all those who lost a child, we mourn with them. And to those who are in the trenches with little ones every day, who wear food on them like a badge of honor, Lord, we appreciate them. And to those who experienced loss this year through miscarriage or failed adoptions or running away or rejection, Lord, may we be the people who mourn with them. To those who walk the hard path of infertility, those who've been through the fraught pokes and the prods, the tears and the disappointment, oh God, we walk with them. Forgive us when we say foolish things. We don't mean to make this harder than it already is. To those, Lord, who foster, particularly the foster moms, who mentor moms, who are spiritual moms, Lord, we need them. May they not only have that as part of their resume, but may more be entering those ranks. We need them. To those who have warm and close personal relationships with their children, Lord, we celebrate with them. But for those who are experiencing disappointment and heartache and distance, we sit quietly because we don't have all the answers, not this side of heaven. To those who lost their mothers this year, Lord, may we be the people who grieve with them. And to those who experienced abuse at the hands of their own mother, we not only acknowledge that experience, we validate it, and we respond with care. To those who've lived through driving tests and medical tests and overall testing of motherhood, Lord, we celebrate all of that. And to those who are empty nests today and in the upcoming year, we grieve over the loss, and yet we rejoice with the freedom of these young adults. And to those who are pregnant with new life, both that are expected and those that are surprising, we anticipate with them what the year in front of us looks like. And on this Mother's Day, Lord, we thank you for all of the ladies. Bless them. Make them women of faith. Nurture them to be strong, resilient, but caring, loving, like a woman of noble character, we pray. And we know that our lives are better because of the women in our lives. And so we thank you. In Christ's name, amen. So in conclusion, wow, that's heavy, isn't it? So, okay, I thought it might be heavy, so I found some one-liners. You ready? These are one-line tributes to moms. Thank you for giving me life, and thank you for not taking it back during my teenage years. My mother said more than once, I brought you into this world and I can take you out. I believe her still. Mom, I forgive you for replacing me with cats. Another one writes, don't you think it's funny that you're still my mother? You deserve to be promoted by now. Yeah. Sometimes when I love this, sometimes when I open my mouth, my mother comes out. Has anybody experienced that one? Yeah. You're not bossy, you're just aggressively helpful. And then in a surprising turn of events, my mother was right about everything. Yeah, amen. I'm going to be in Ephesians chapter 6 and Genesis chapter 1. And as you're looking it up, let me tell you a story. It happened 33 years ago this very weekend, okay? The way God built our family is through birth and adoption. When you adopt, you go through a mile of paperwork. You can have 12 babies and live in a 800 square foot mobile home, and that's legal. But if you're going to adopt, they want to measure every room, check every resource. They want to know you have hot and cold water, and your plumbing works, and your electrical works, and you have ground fault circuiting. You've got it all, because they don't want anything to go wrong because you're adopting. Well, so we're going to adopt. We get a call, and this baby's born. We're living in Indianapolis, and it's May, and we're so excited. We find out what hospital, and they allow us to go and stand behind the glass wall. We're not allowed to go in and hold the baby yet, but we have this unknown baby on the other side of this glass wall. We go in, and there's got to be like 42 babies. And my wife says, "Isn't she gorgeous?" I go, "Yeah. Yeah. Give me a number. Give me a row and a number back or something." And as it would go, if you know anything about Indianapolis, Memorial Day weekend is the Indy 500. And so the month of May is time trials. Anytime it's not raining, they're running the track. Well, we need to, so the whole central Indiana thing all around Indianapolis is a little chaotic because people are coming and going all during the month watching time trials. Then there's 1 million people show up for the actual race. Well, our second-born child was born that weekend, and now we need our attorney says, "I just need a judge to sign off on this, and you can bring the baby home." So we're at the hospital, we're holding this baby now, but we can't bring her home because we don't have the right paperwork, so we've got to get in front of a judge. He goes, "I'll find you a judge, but on Friday afternoon when there's time trials in a city of 1 million, you can't find a judge. They're all at the track. Those dastardly overpaid judges." Yeah. So we couldn't get a judge. And so he said, "Well, we're going to go for Monday." Okay, so we spend the weekend at the hospital. We're holding this baby. And they gave us our own room. It was the size of a small telephone booth, you know. And we brought the baby in. We held this little baby. And so Sunday comes. I'm getting dressed. We're going to go to church. At least that's what I thought. I look at Wanda, and it's, "Are you ready to go?" She goes, "Yeah, I'll see you this afternoon sometime." "Where are you going?" She says, she looked at me like, "Are you from outer space? We just had a baby. I'm going back to the hospital." I said, "You're not going to go to church with me?" She said, "No, I just had a baby." "You did?" "You did. Okay. I'll see you after lunch or over lunch." So I went to church all by myself on Mother's Day. My wife took off, went back to the hospital. Of course, we had a 7-year-old who was already born and was grown up, and she looked at me like, "Daddy, we're going to the hospital." And she became the third parent, if you know what I'm talking about. Like, "You're disgusting. Just go, you know. We're off and running," and they took off to the hospital. So I get to the hospital that afternoon. I preached the morning, and it was a good morning service. I told her it was one of the best sermons I ever delivered, and she said, "Oh, well, yeah, too bad." So we went, and we sat with the baby again, and I said, "Well, it's Mother's Day. Can I at least take you out to lunch?" Because I had all these plans set for Mother's Day. And she said, "That would be nice." She said, "There's a cafeteria downstairs." That was the cheapest Mother's Day lunch I've ever bought. It was in the hospital cafeteria. That Monday we went to court, and Monday afternoon we brought home a baby. And I've not slept the night through since, I think. So that's a good one. Maybe you have Mother's Day stories like that. I want to tell you, you'll never go wrong just honoring your mother and your father. There's Ephesians chapter 6. Look at it with me, would you? Ephesians 6, verse 2. "Honor your father and mother, which is the first commandment with a promise, so that it may go well with you, that you may enjoy a long life on the earth." Wow. That is actually a requote that comes from the Old Testament. Exodus chapter 20. "Honor your mother and your father, and that it may go well with you." And there are other versions of that throughout the Old Testament. One word, honor. That's where I want to focus today. First comes love, next comes not baggage, but honor. What do you carry into the relationship? because it will change the way you value your spouse. Honor will. It will change the way you value your children, your parents, your in-laws, your co-workers, civil servants, strangers, people on the street, people you know, people you don't know. It changes the way you look at people who don't look like you, talk like you, vote like you. It will change the relationships in a church. That one word, honor. It's key. The word in itself means heaviness. It means there's weightiness. In other words, you place value or esteem or respect. There is worth to this. You see them for their value, for their worth. Does not mean that you agree with them. It means you value them for their worth. You value the other person being made in the image of God. That's the important piece. It means you treat people with respect, because you don't know but what you might be showing up in heaven with them. They may be neighbors in heaven with you. So you better treat them well now, knowing you have eternity in front of you. It will take some discipline on your own life to honor them at times. It will grow the corners of your faith, and God will use those relationships to grow you if you'll just honor the people around you. And that principle of honor goes all the way back to the very beginning when God creates the heavens and the earth. Now, hold your hand in Ephesians 6 and go with me to Genesis 1. Genesis chapter 1, where God's creating the heavens and the earth. This is really a passage about origin. And here's the deal. In the scriptures, scholars who make this their living, studying the scriptures and just understanding the roots, historical roots, and the context of things, what they do is this. It's the principle of first mention. Anytime a term is used for the very first time, it sets the standard then for how it's going to be interpreted or translated later throughout the Bible. That definition or trend goes back to the first or initial use. And it's the first mention kind of principle. So God creates life, Genesis 1, and the precedent is set. This is how we look at all of life. And that's why around here, when we talk about the value of all people, we talk about the value, the sanctity of life, life in the womb, life and the tragedy of abortion, the dilemma of immigration, how we look at racial reconciliation and gender issues and marriage and divorce and parenting and grandparenting and elder care and adoption, all of it, how it all fits together, goes back to Genesis chapter 1. Verse 27, so God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them, plural, male and female, he created them. He created them in the image of God. You have a stamp on you. You are not a mistake. You're not a surprise. Maybe to your parents you are, but not to God. You are created in the image of God. Every person is the art and craft of God stamped on them. You are highly valued, not because anybody else says so, but because God made you. That in and of itself is enough. During this series, I'm going to probably quote a little bit too much for some people from Gary Smalley, who I think is one of the best counselors, marriage counselors. He just recently flew away to heaven, just passed away. But Gary has written a pile of books, been on a lot of radio programs throughout the years. You can pick up messages of his, but he just has seminars and messages, great books though. He puts it this way: honor is a decision that we make to place high value, worth, and importance on another person. Whether we realize it or not, he makes it so simple. Whether we realize it or not, the value we attach to God, our children, and ourselves greatly determines the success and failure of our relationships. God calls us to honor all of the levels, all the kinds of responsibilities that we have in life, all of those relationships. So when the Bible calls for honor, it means honor in the family. Hebrews chapter 13. Marriage is honorable. Don't ever think of it like, oh, it's optional. No, it is honorable. It is the basis of the home. God put this system in place. But not just marriage is honorable. When God calls for honor, it's towards church leaders. 1 Timothy chapter 5. The spiritual battle is great, so honor those who who minister as leaders of the church. Honor those who lead and treat them with respect. And God will see that and bless that in your own life. But that it isn't just in family or just in the church, it's also in human government. Because God ordained government in Romans chapter 13. Now, none of those levels of responsibility are perfect. None of them. No family, no church, no government, no nation's ever been perfect. But dishonoring what God puts into place is not only a mistake, but it's a smack to the face of God. Do you really want to, and my question is, do I really want to do that? No, I don't. Do you really want to do that? I hope not. Because ultimately, those smaller steps of obedience open the way for us to ultimately give honor to God. 1 Timothy chapter 1. Now to the King eternal, immortal, invisible, the only God, be honor and glory forever and ever. Amen. Ultimate honor belongs to God. It may mean for you may need to see it worked out in some of these smaller kind of realms to see that highest regard, highest respect, highest value, weightiness belongs to Almighty God. And it's important that you get how this works, the principle of honor, because when we talk about honoring your mother and father, you say, well, my parents haven't been all that honorable. All of us have fallen parents. It's just the way it is. Some of you are saying, this is really hurtful. Then my answer to you is this: let's start a new chapter. You create a new legacy. You start a new path for the next generation. Because you got to get this down. Honor does not create worth. If you're writing notes, this is important. Honor does not create worth. Honor just recognizes worth. If I pull out a $5 bill and I hand it to someone, they go, psh, not that much. But what's the worth of the $5 bill? What's the worth, class? It's $5, right? I hand it to someone else, he goes, wow, it's a lot of money. I've not handled $5 before. What's the worth of that bill? $5, right? Doesn't really matter what people say. It is what it is. When you honor something, you're only recognizing what it actually is. Okay? So, nothing I say can add to your value, or nothing I say can take away from your value. You are created, Genesis 1, in the image of God. All I can do is recognize that and honor that. And honor allows the systems then to work, where you fit within a society, where you fit within a family. And honor then drives us to trust God, because if I trust God, I'll trust the systems that he has in place. Someone in the room right now is in their heart just going, you know what? This is a lot to digest. In fact, I have lousy parents, and I just blanch out at these holidays. In fact, I don't really like Thanksgiving or Christmas. I don't like Mother's Day or Father's Day. And it may work for you, Dave, but I feel pretty worthless on those days, or they may be a real struggle. And my answer to you is this: then you strike the new path of being honorable, even when other people have been dishonorable. The Old Testament is full of illustrations of this. Daniel had a rough road in his life, and yet he stayed as a guy who was above reproach. Ruth had a hard life, particularly the front end of her life. She was different at the back end of her life, but the early years of her life, they were difficult. So it isn't about the circumstances, it's about your choices. And so what you're going to do then is just determine, my life's going to be honorable. I'm going to honor God, and as I honor God, I'm going to work within the systems I'm in. I'm going to honor my mother and father for what I can. Maybe I can't honor them for everything. For these things I can. And so we leave it at that. And that's one of the things too, that where as you grow up, if you would just hang with me for a moment, and then you leave mother and father, you actually make the break. Now you get to set the sail, and you get to determine. And sometimes you're going to do the very thing that your parents did. Sometimes you're going to do something different. You see, you can learn from everybody. And sometimes you learn, I want to be like that, or I don't want to be like that. I hope that's worth the trip in. All of us have an elementary school teacher we just dearly loved, and that's what you want to be like. All of us have a high school teacher where you're like, hey, I really like that, or I really didn't like that. I have one prof in college that still gives me nightmares. Anybody else have that prof? Western civilization. I'm telling you, I do not know the names of the pharaohs of Egypt, and nor do I care. And that may have been part of the problem, now that I think about it. But you have the decision you can make, right? And so you come away from the family that you're in, and as you grow up and you become your own person, now you determine. And as for me and my household, what Josh is saying, we're going to just serve the Lord. That's the way it's going to be. So, some of you are saying right now, well, I still have feelings. You know what? That's okay. Feelings are important. They don't drive the train, but they're certainly part of the train. So you're saying, I have feelings. And I like what Focus on the Family says about feelings. Treat feelings the way you treat our children. Okay, how's that? You listen to them, you care for them, but you don't allow them to make major decisions for the family. I like that. Don't deny your feelings, but don't let your feelings drive your life either. Don't stuff them and deny them, but don't let them drive you either. So listen to them, care for them, but don't allow them to make major decisions for your family. Why? Because you are an image bearer created by Almighty God. Now, here's the problem too. Sometimes we value people based upon what they bring to the table. We just do. They come from a certain family or a certain side of town, or their age or their job or their ethnicity or their language or their income or whatever. We value them for whatever reason that would be. And the bottom line is this: they're made in the image of God. And so we have to begin there. And it doesn't mean I have to agree with you on the decisions. What it means is I have to be honorable, even in the midst of the decisions. Sometimes you just almost have to go through the exercise of this. I know some churches that will actually go through this like I don't really value it. And so they'll sing songs that actually drive that point home. When I was a kid, we had a song that we sang in our church, and it went, "Blessed be the tie that binds our hearts in Christian love." And I would look across the way like, oh, wait, whew. I'm glad I had a hymnal at the time, because I don't know if I love them. Anybody else with me on this? Just my church, yeah. Later, there was another song, "I love you with the love of the Lord. Yes, I love you with the love of the Lord. I can see in you the glory of my King. And I love you with the love of the Lord." It's just a prayer chorus. But you know what it does? It calls into account my responsibility to honor people around me. I don't have to agree with them. I just have to see them as being created by God. And if I don't do that, disrespect is not far behind, because it will break quickly. And when it breaks and there's disrespect, then chaos rules, and relationships are hijacked, and there's manipulation, and there's all kinds of cultural stuff happening that's just our norm today. People strong arm others and manipulate for the sake of whatever their goal is when they're relating to you. And when they're done with you, they snub you or cut you off from that communication. It's called using people, not very honorable. So when it's broken, it'll be real obvious to you really quickly. So get this. We're created in the image of God. He has a stamp on you. But don't assume that just because you're created in the image of God, you are God's child, because we are born with sin and we're fallen. We need not only the image of God, that's not the end game for God. What God wants for you is to be a child of God. Whoa. What does that mean? That means you recognize we are all fallen people. I am myself. I'm a sinner. You're a sinner. And Christ, who died for my sins, paid the penalty for my sin. I trust him. I want him in my life. I actually turn from my sin and turn to the Lord and trust him. That's what it means to be born again, or to have a new life in Christ. And then you're not only made in the image of God, but you also are a child of God, because we all need the Savior. As children of God now, we can value what God values. And so when we value the other people around us, what it does is it tends to lead us towards a quiet and peaceable life. When our own world is chaotic, we tend to create chaos around. So don't give Satan a foothold by being dishonorable in talk or attitude. Honor your father and mother. Now, go back to Ephesians chapter 6, because there's the back end of this verse, and this is so good. Honor your father and mother, chapter 6, verse 2, which is the first commandment with promise. And what's the promise? So it may go well with you, and you'll enjoy a long life on the earth. Even if your parents weren't perfect, because they weren't. Even if you ran from home and you made stupid, foolish decisions, and you might, then from this day forward, you strike out as a new clean slate. I'm going to honor my parents for what I can. Why? Because it's the first commandment with a promise. And what's the promise? Life will go well. It'll go better. Here's what will happen. When you honor them, you'll have a clean conscience. There'll be no stutter stepping. There's no guilt carryover. You now can honor them for the few things that you can honor them for, but it's honoring God and trusting that God knows what he's up to that's good in your life. And it allows you to strike out a new future, even when our past is blemished. And it creates a new future that will outlive you, that will long outlast you. So let me just, in closing, let me give you 3 ways you could do this. And I'm just going to bring this home real practical. This is not original with me, but 3 ways you could do this. When you go to honor your mother and father or any of the relationships that you have, write it, say it, act on it. Write it, say it, act on it. Write it, number 1. This is why I honor you. This is why I respect you. This is why I love you. One of Gary Smalley's students, he's a mentor relationship with Gary Smalley, walked in his office, and on Gary's desk was a stack of papers. There were 4 sheets of paper that were stapled together. It had a bunch of notes on it, all written on it. And the guy says to him, Dr. Smalley, what's that? And he said, it's all the reasons I love Norma. Norma's his wife. Oh, really? He goes, oh, yeah. So why do you have a list? He goes, I have to remind myself. You do? Oh, yeah, I have to remind myself. Oh, you do? He goes, oh, yeah, because... And then now, this is, if you ever knew Gary Smalley, he's really common, down to earth, and then he will give you stats out the wazoo. You realize this guy's a PhD. This guy's brilliant when it comes to relationships, but he'll make it so simple. And then by the way, there are funny stories about Gary Smalley where he was absolutely clueless to what's going on in the room because he's just that brilliant, you know. And so the student says to him, why do you have to write it down? He says, because... He says, we have what's called in our lives, it's called confirmation bias. You make a decision, you come to a decision, and then you just start gathering information. Well, she just doesn't like me, and here's why, and here's why, and here's why, and here's why. You're just piling it on. And then you realize, all I'm doing is confirming the decision I've already made. It's called confirmation bias. It happens in lots of decision making. And so he says, so what I've done is I have this stack, he goes, and I keep adding to it. And he goes, oh, you do? And he picks it up and he goes, and he starts to read the list to his students of the reasons he loves Norma. And he says, this is all the evidence, because he says, I write these and I keep adding to it all the time. And he goes, well, why would you need that? He goes, because there's a day when I get angry, when we're kind of arguing and we're ticked and I'm angry at her. And he goes, I'll come in my office and I'll sit down. He'll sit down, he'll start to read, why do I love her? And he says, it doesn't take long. And he goes, and I can't take the list and go, okay, we're crossing this one off. You can see Gary doing this too. They're taking that one out. I used to believe that one, not anymore. He goes, no, you're not allowed to edit when you're angry. All you can do is read it. And he's got 4 pages of that. And he says, he says, when I'm in a conflict, he goes, I have to just sit down and read. This is why I love Norma. She's strong, she's a thinker, she's analytical, she's level-headed. He's got all his reasons why. And the student says, and how long does it take? He goes, I rarely get off the first page, and I'm crying because I really do love her. And then he resets the confirmation bias. So write it down. I'm going to encourage you, write it down. The dedication of the person you love, their creativity, their discipline, their forgiveness, their patience. It doesn't matter. The holiness, their prayer life, how helpful they are, solution-driven. It doesn't really matter. But see them as, Genesis 1, a person who is made in the image of God. I love you with the love of the Lord. I can see in you the glory of my King. And I love you with the love of the Lord. So, number 1, write it. Number 2, say it. One of the jobs I have as a pastor is I get called to do funerals. Half the funerals, more than half the funerals I do are people I don't even know. So I'll call the family, and they'll say, oh yeah, this so-and-so, and they tell me about them. I said, just give me some story about their life. Tell me something so I don't get up and embarrass you or tell something. So just talk to me about them. Give me some words, and they'll give me some things. It's not unusual at a service for them to say, and I'd like to say a piece. Okay, then you say a piece. And I take these. The reason I take them is because I go to John 3:16, for God so loved the world. I go to John 14. I'm going to go to heaven, prepare a place for you. You want to go to heaven, you don't want to miss it. So trust the Lord, okay? I just go through passages of Scripture. I'll read Revelation 21, new heaven, new earth. And people they'll actually write it down. It's amazing, the gospel I get to give at funerals. But sometimes they'll say, I want to say something. And then they'll begin to say something. And more times than I can count, they'll say something to the effect of this. They were this, they were this, they were this, they were this. And I wish I'd told them that. And my heart sinks. Because that person passed and didn't know. You understand where that's going? So don't just write it. Say it. And if you're not good at it, take your list in. And if they go, well, it needs to be on your heart. It's not on my heart. It's not the way I'm wired. I have to have a list. I have to write it down. Or I'll forget it. Or I'll use the wrong word. Write it down and then read them the list. Or gift them the list. But value them as a person who is made in the image of God. Number 3. So you write it, you say it. Proverbs 22. A good name is more desirable than riches. Wouldn't it be great at your funeral if by the way, you're writing your own funeral message now, you know that. A good name is more desirable than riches. To be esteemed is better than silver and gold. So verbalize it, practice it. But then number 3, act on it. Act on it. Act honorably towards the people around you. Don't say it with your lips and then act in a dishonoring way. Show highest respect for what God has placed around you. All of your days, get this, that's the end of verse 3, that your life will be better for doing that. Because of clean conscience, you're honoring God, you're honoring what God has created. You're not saying about them they're perfect. What you're saying is, I love you, I have high regard for you, you are made in the image of God. So, here's my word to you, church. Honor your father and mother. Today, particularly the moms. Honor all the people around you, but particularly today, honor your mother, which is the first commandment with a promise. And you know what? Here's the general principle. Life will go better for you. You'll have a longer life. And there's a whole other study of that. When you don't pile up bitterness and angst, you just tend to have a longer, better life because you have less acid in your stomach. The Bible knows what it's talking about. So honor your mom. Would you stand with me and let's bow together for prayer? Thank you today, Lord, for the ladies in our midst, and Lord, for the entrance of your word. This goes like your word always does. It goes further, it goes deeper and broader than we can get our arms around. And so our prayer is Romans 12, that our love would be sincere, that we would hate what is evil and cling to what is good, that we would be devoted to one another in love, and we would honor one another above ourselves. May you bless these dear people, I pray. In Christ's name, amen.
Good God Almighty.